A little while ago, I went to the food store and there was a mother there with her young daughter, who I'm guessing was maybe 2.5, something like that. And in the middle of the store, the little girl decided to have a meltdown. And she was screaming and kicking and going crazy. And she lay down on the floor and she's just kicking and, hollering and so on. And her mother just stood by quietly, and then she kind of squatted down next to her and she very gently put her hand on the back of the child. She didn't say anything. She just was, down there, putting her hand on the back of the child and soothing her. And eventually the child calmed down and the mom said a few words to her, and then she got up very quietly, and the mom picked her up and carried her out of the store. And I just thought, this was the most beautiful analogy for, in my view, the best way to respond to a mind storm, or an emotional intensity when it arises, linking to a thought, an old pattern or a belief, because these things do happen after an awakening, whether it's a radical or a more subtle awakening. These kind of mind storms or mind loops do keep coming, and it's easy to get pulled in and to think that those mind storms are indicative of us falling out of the state of self-recognition, or they are indicative of the truth that we're, lifetimes away from recognizing the self, or, whatever stories we attach to what is going on. And instead, it's just much easier and kinder and more generous if we can just create this sort of gentle space, this openness, and allow these movements, these mind loops, to sort of play themselves out, and to watch and to witness in a loving way, rather than adding fuel to the fire and labeling, criticizing, and kind of getting frustrated around them. Because I'm sure, as in the case of this mother with her child, if she'd started yelling and screaming at the child would have just cried and screamed likewise, and the situation would have grown in intensity. And instead, this mother's loving, gentle kindness and kind response helped to soothe things and calm everything down. So no matter what comes up, whatever's arising, whether it feels icky or shitty or whatever you want to put it, if anger comes up or frustration comes up, or any sort of moods that don't feel very comfortable, instead of adding other layers onto that and kind of labeling it and using those movements as kind of definitions with respect to our true nature or true state, it just makes things worse. So the more loving and kind we can be, the more open we can be, the more expansive in response we can be, the more kind we can be, the sooner these mind movements will just kind of do their thing and then subside and not give us any problems, or take us away from the truth of being. So I wanted to hop on to share that today because it's a very simple thing to do, you know. Just holding this space in kindness and gentleness is really key if we want to, I don't want to say make progress, but I guess in a way it is progressive. It's a sort of progressive recognition that the truth of who we are is prior to any mind movement or prior to any sort of story that we may have or we may tell ourselves. So it's really worth cultivating this attitude of kindness and gentleness so that we can be with whatever arises and we're not kind of swept away by it all. So all of that said, I hope all is well. Keep smiling, keep shining bright, and as always, if you would like to leave comments, feel free to do so below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So take it easy, be well, and bye for now.